We are war with terrorism, racism, but most of all, we are war with ourselves. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. You want to be West End, show you restless, the restless. My jacket, necklace, the next these. My jacket, Lexus. Somebody tell me who Kanye West is. Through the valley of the shadow of death is. I'll leave you breathless. Try to catch it. Kinda hard. So by the Texas, yeah, and I check the message. Asking us questions, harassing the rest of us. Saying we eat pieces of like you for breakfast, huh? Y'all eat pieces. What's the basis? We ain't going nowhere but got suits and cases. A trunk full of with no problem cases. My mama used to say, only Jesus could save us, real mama. I know I act a fool, but I'll be gone to November. I got proof to move my home. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now. And I don't think that nothing I can do now to right my wrongs. I wanna talk to God, but I'm afraid when he talk for so long. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now. And I don't think there's nothing I can do now to right my wrongs. I wanna talk to God, but I'm afraid when he talk for so long. So long. So long. To the hustlers, killers, murderers, drug dealers, even the scribblers. And I just well that really living in hell, yeah, hell yeah. Now he be heavy, wanna see me more clearly. When my feet get weary, almost nearly extinct. Me rappers is no mouths, they rap, they don't play. About his facial features, they here to turn atheists into believers. I'm just trying to say the ways for me teachers the way that they need to read it. That's the way I need Jesus. Radio nieces, they say you rap about anything except for Jesus. And when I talk about God, my mother won't get paid, huh? And then my sins and then take away from my ends. Everybody screaming now. Yeah, hey. I was feeling some Kanye West today. I woke up 5 o'clock this morning. I worked out, took a shower, washed the dishes, read the whole book of songs of songs. Yeah, and then I ended up falling back to sleep for about 2 hours. I was so tired. But yeah, Kanye West. It's crazy how you could beg God to put you in a position. And then when you get there, you know, at the beginning, you all for him. And then slowly, you start forgetting about him. You act like he don't exist. You act like he's not the one who put you there. And that just made me think about Kanye. It's just like, I don't know. You could just see how he started drifting away from God and how stuff just started getting real ugly for him. And I don't know, now he say he back. I don't know. I don't know if this is real or, just for show. But I hope it's real. I hope he wouldn't play with God like that, because I tell you, God, you do not want to play with him. His wrath is way worse than any human could think of. So I just say that's just one being you do not want to play with. But today we're talking about how are you using your position. I got 3 people right here. This is Joseph. Then we got Esther. Even though we know none of these people was white because it's Africa. Unless they moved there, I've never known any native Africans to be white, but this is America, so they want everybody from Africa to be white. So we got Esther, we got Joseph, and then we got David. Okay. Joseph. He was favored by his father because basically his dad had him at an old age. So I guess he just felt like he was special, that God blessed him with this child at the age that he was at. And because his father favored him and he had these dreams, God would keep sending him these dreams. And when he would tell people, they wouldn't believe him. And instead, they got jealous and got mad about the dreams that he was having and was trying to make him feel bad about it. Trying to make him feel like he was trying to be better than them, when really that wasn't his thought. He didn't understand the dream. And he was just asking in hopes that somebody could help him understand the dream. But instead, it made his brothers angry and, jealous, brought jealousy out of people, and they turned their back on him. The people that is closest to you, that claim they love you so much, they get that jealousy because they feel like you trying to be better than them, when it's never the case. That was never his thought process. He never thought he was better than anybody. He just wanted to understand these dreams that God kept sending him. But people do things trying to stop you from getting to where God has. Girl, go somewhere with your crazy head. I'm sorry, excuse her hair. I'm in the process of doing it. Well, taking it down so I can redo it. So it looks a little crazy right now. But yeah, they was angry with him because God decided to choose him to show him dreams, and they tried to do something so hurtful to him in hopes that it would basically steer him off the journey of those dreams that God had sent him. But the thing is, it only pushed him closer to the dream. So the jealousy of his brothers, they wanted to kill him. Their own brother. Can you imagine that? You got 12 brothers. Well, it was 12 altogether. So you got 11 brothers that want to kill you because of a dream that God sent you. And because they feel like their father favored you the most. Because you got this nice little jacket here. So they wanted to kill him. And one of the brothers, he was, he was probably jealous, a little angry, but not to the point that he wanted to kill his own brother like the rest of them. So he was like, let's just sell him to slavery. So they did. And they stripped him of his jacket and told their father that he was dead. Years. He was years in slavery until he had a dream. God sent him another dream. And he told the king, well, he had somebody tell the king because he was a slave. So he had somebody tell the king about the dream he had. And when the dream came true, the king took him out of the slavery and put him in a position basically like his right-hand man to make sure, the land was covered. So, the brothers were so worried, but they end up putting him in the right position to get where God had intended for him anyways. All they did was just delay it, but they sent him to the right direction. And then after a while, he told the king, there is going to be 7 years of good, prosperous crops blooming and everything. And then there'll be 7 years of just dry, nothing would grow, the famine. So because he was the king advisor, those 7 years the king stocked up on food to make sure that they would be good the 7 years that nothing would grow. And you know what? Those 7 years, them same brothers that sold him into slavery, that wanted to kill him, had to come and beg him for food. That's why it's so important. That's why God said you should treat people the way you want to be treated. Because just because somebody is in a bad position today, tomorrow they could be in a better position, a position where now you need them. So in this story, his brothers was tested first and they failed. In the second half of the story, he was tested and he passed. His test was to treat his brothers with kindness. And that he did. It can be hard. Can you imagine the stuff he went through as a slave? And over those years, he had to learn how to forgive his brothers for doing that to him. And, it's easy to forgive somebody, I guess, when you don't see them. But then for them to come back up and they're in your face and you have to really like forgive. You got to really, really forgive. And that's what he had to do. He had to really forgive them in his heart because he could have let them starve. They sold him into slavery. He could have let them starve. But instead, he showed them kindness and he gave them food. More than enough food. That was his test. God always tests both parties. What they say, 90% is what happens to you, and the other 10% is how you react. So 90% of the stuff that happened to you, he's testing the other people. And then the 10% is how your test is how you're going to react to those situations. Next, we're going to talk about David. David was anointed by God at a young age. He was a kid when he got first. Everybody was like, why you want David? He a kid. Like, he's not worth anything. That's basically what they said about David. He wasn't worth anything. But God said, I want him. I want him because nobody believes that he can do it. So since nobody believes that he is capable, it is God's way of being. And David, he was very, very obedient to God. God loved him to death. As they say, he was a man after God's heart or something like that. However you say the saying. Because he was very obedient. He did whatever God told him to do. No matter what it was, he did it. And he was blessed for that all his life. He became king. He defeated a giant with a rock. Can you imagine? They got all these swords and these different weapons, and now you got a rock and you defeated a giant. And later become a king and rule for a long time. David, he made a lot of mistakes. He sinned a lot. But because he was obedient to God, God just loved him and continued to bless him. God knows every mess up that you're going to make. He created you. He knows the things that you're going to do before you do it. So he knows every mess up that you've ever done and ever plan to do in the future, or if you don't plan it, he still know you go do it. He's not looking at that because he know everybody gonna mess up. We're not perfect. He's the only perfect one, so he expects us to mess up. But what he looks for is, are you going to be obedient to the things he asks for you to do? Are you going to wake up every day and try a little harder than you did yesterday to be a better version of yourself? That's all he look at. Are you trying? That's all he want to know. Are you trying? Some people don't even want to try. And all you doing is sending yourself to the destination. When all he asks of you is to try. Try to be better than you was yesterday. That's what I do every day. I try to do more than I did yesterday. If I woke up at 6 o'clock, then today try to wake up at 5, which I did. If I didn't do any homework yesterday, then today I'm gonna do double the homework. Whatever it is, he just wants you to try and to be obedient. He not doing anything to try to hurt you. You just want to know you trust him. Then my last person, Esther. Esther. She used her position to save her people. Esther was very, very beautiful. And because she was beautiful and obedient, she became queen. And because she became queen, she was able to save her people from Mordecai, who wanted to. I'm sorry, not Mordecai. That was her uncle. Haman. Haman wanted to kill her people, all the Jews, because he was mad at Mordecai for not wanting to bow to him and praise him like a god. And she was able to save her people because of her position. So how are you using your position? What are you using it to benefit God? Or are you benefiting the devil? Because you can only serve one of them. You can't serve both. So, are you going to do good or are you going to do bad? Black and white. People always try to create that gray area so that they can get away with doing with whatever they want. But there is no gray area. God do not like the gray area. And I feel him. I don't like the gray area either. It's very confusing. He say those people in the gray area, it's like lukewarm water. You want to just spit them out. Yeah, I feel that. I know how I feel for somebody to 1 minute say they love you, and then the next minute they don't love you, and then they turn around and trying to act like they kind of like you, and then they don't like you at all. It's just like, what do you want? What do you want? Why are you here? Why are you bothering me? If you don't want me, I'll leave you alone. But if you do, then be here. But I'm not going to do the back and forth. And God did not want to do the back and forth. He just wants you to be here. He's not looking for you to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. He just wants you to do the things that he asks, whatever it is. He asked me to do these videos. I get a couple of people to watch. At first it was discouraging, but then I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm being obedient, so I'm going to be blessed for it. It don't matter who watch it. I am telling people the things that I feel like God want me to say. And whether they choose to listen or not is completely up to them. But the burden, the bloodshed is wiped clean from my hands because I put it out there for people to have the knowledge. So that eliminates people saying, I didn't know. Well, God will be like, well, I had Letitia doing these videos and she kept posting, trying to get people to watch. Nobody wanted to watch. You could have just watched the video. You could have had the information, but you chose not to watch. So that's your fault. That's the consequences that you gotta deal with. And I don't let it discourage me no more that, people don't want to watch. Everybody is not as serious about God. And, at first I wasn't that serious about God. But I went through some things and I realized He is the only one on my team. He been my ride or die through the good and the bad. Those vows that you say when you get married, through sickness and health, death do its part, all of that. I mean, I haven't died, but all the rest of the stuff, he been there with me. Rich, poor. I ain't been rich, but I've been comfortable. But still, it doesn't matter. He been there with me. He was there with me when people pretended to like me, and then he was there with me when I had nobody to call on. When I had to sit here and suffer in silence and in the darkness by myself, he was there for me. So this is the position he gave me. And I'm going to do my best to be obedient and, you know, continue to put him first and to not let the distractions of life, you know, make me lose focus on him. Because one day you here and the next day you gone. And the stuff that's around you, it won't even matter. The only thing that's gonna matter is your soul. Was it right with God? Was you obedient? And that's gonna determine how you gonna rest. Are you gonna rest easy in peace? Or are you gonna be tormented forever? We was talking about that in Bible study. The lake of fire, being tortured for life, for eternity. Most couldn't even, think about that. When I know this is a touchy subject to some people, but it's like when things get hard here on earth, people be ready to, kill themselves to get away from it. But when you get to hell, there ain't no killing yourself. You just gonna have to deal with it. It's no escaping. It's nothing you can do to escape it. So you can cut yourself all you want. You can shoot yourself all you want. You still gonna be there, being tortured because you felt like you only live once, YOLO. So you had to be out here living your best life and you wasn't actually living. You was living for yourself, but not for God. I just don't want to be that type of person that beg God to get me out of a bad situation, and then when he get me out, I forget him. I don't want to be that type of person. Cause that's like a bad heartache. That's like you finding somebody off the streets. You know what I'm saying? You clean them up, you help them get a job, help them get on their feet, and then when they get on their feet, they dog you out and act like you didn't put in all that work and effort to help them. You would be like messed up. You'd be like, I would never help another person again. And God is out here constantly. It's 7.2 or 7.4 billion people in the world, somewhere in between there. And he's constantly out here helping all these people every day. And a lot of us take that for granted. Take for granted that he even woke us up. He didn't have to wake you up because you sin every day. So the wages of sin is death. So he could have just let you die. But he didn't. He continued to wake you up. He continued to make sure you have food to eat, money to pay your bills, money to go do whatever you want to. Then you can't even take out 10% of it and give it to him. It's just like you wouldn't have none of that without him. But yet you choose to ignore him and not want to do anything for him. It's sad. All my life, I've been wondering why I experienced the things that I experienced. But I was experiencing it because I asked God, I want to know how you think. I want to know why you think the way you think. And now I know. He took me through different situations to know why he say the things that he say that we shouldn't do. Why he feel a certain type of way when people do things. It hurts. And we complain about getting hurt by a couple of people. He's getting hurt on a daily basis by billions of people, by everybody. On a daily basis, he's getting hurt. And it's like yesterday, you was sleeping in your car, probably eating out the garbage can because you so hungry and got no money. Then I help you get some money, help you get a house. You able to go buy food now and eat it. And you use your position that I put you in to hurt people. instead of help them. You use your position to make me look bad. I just want to be obedient, and I will be obedient. Because I don't want my daughter to suffer because I was too selfish to be obedient. But I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Got a lot of homework to do. Well, not really. Got one homework assignment, and then Malia got some homework. Got to do her hair. We got Bible study at like 6 o'clock. So I'm trying to get all of that done. But thank y'all for the ones who watch. I know y'all probably get tired of me talking about God, but when you have nothing, and I mean nothing, not a pot to piss in, you're starving, everybody's turned their back on you. You literally have nothing but the love from God and the love from your child. That's it. And even though you have nothing, your daughter still love you like you the most perfect person in the world. God still love you like you the most perfect person in the world. It's like, how can you turn your back on that? Nobody else saw you. Nobody else wanted to hear you, to love you, to be there for you. So why would I take my blessing and turn around and smack God in the face with it? That is like spitting in somebody's face. That is the most ultimate disrespect ever. I'm telling you, you can beat somebody up, jump them, whatever. But you spit in somebody's face, that's like you asking to get shot in the face. For real. Like right here. Like instant. You asking to die. And people do that to God every day. God, please, 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 please. It's like a little spoiled kid that just asks you for a toy all the time. And then when you give them the toy, they play with it for a couple of days. Then they just throw it up under their bed and forget about it. God, please, 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 please. Then you get it. You thank God a little bit for it. Then after a while, you get comfortable. You forget that, he got you into that situation. He got you out of a bad situation and got you where you could be comfortable. Don't let that position get you messed up. That's all I'm gonna say. God put you there, and He can take you away from that same position and put somebody else there who would be more appreciative of having that position, who would do more for him to show that they're grateful for having that position. You do it. Like I said, it's like 7.4 billion people out here. So it's plenty of people to take your position if you act like you too good to do it. But I'm gonna leave y'all with that. See you tomorrow. Peace. God is good all the time.